Hello everyone, I'm Farhal Amran and today I'll be telling you the fastest way to learn coding. So what is the fast way to learn coding? Instead of doing some practices or the mistakes that I have done, so which has slow paced my coding journey. So I'll be telling you the tips and even the mistakes that you guys or most people do, so that stay tuned to this video so that I may tell the advice in between or at the end of the video, not the advice, the mistakes, so that you can check whether these mistakes are you guys doing it or not. And so watch it till the end. So let's get started. So number one advice that I give to the people is that finding your dream field, like which field are you interested in, whether it's game development or you want to go in web development, you want to go in data science, in medicine, whichever field that you want to go. So that is finding your dream field. Like some people, it happens that you, for example, you take up a course, for example, others said to you, your friend said, or she said that do the course in this one, of course you'll earn a lot. And then when you do this course, for example, whichever like she did, she said to you, and then when you do this course, you realize that this course is boring for you. It's boring and you don't want to learn more about it, so you stop it or you stop learning that course. So you, because you find out that it's not your cup of tea. So like some people, they don't like coding. So like some people, they have this thing that instead of coding they are interested more in designing, so they go for the designing field, like a web designer. So if you want to be a web developer, game designer, or if your field is that, even in coding, you want to see that which field is your interest. Like you're interested in making of games, like the coding games, so you might go to that field. Or if you're interested in coding the website, so you go to that field. Or even sometimes some people have interest in artificial intelligence, AI, so you make coding in that field. So whichever field you have interested, so start finding it. So the second tip is which path to take. So like in this I'm talking about not the road trips, I'm talking about which path to take. So like what is the correct way or the right way to take a path when, for example, now you have decided that you will go in web development or game development, whichever. Now one common mistake that most people do, which I'll tell you in this video. So which path to take, as I was saying, that if you have interest in game development, so of course you'll go, if you learn, you'll start learning C or C++, not C, C++. Most of the people, as most game engines, they use this. But if you are designing the games or you're making the games in Unity, then you have to learn C Sharp, because that's the language Unity uses. This is for game development. And for web development, it is that even in web development there are types. There's front end development and a web back end development. In front end, you learn the most basic thing for web development is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's the most basic one. And then after that you go on to learn the frameworks, because not just learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript will work for you. You have to go to the advanced and what are the latest and nowadays, like what people are using, like, and which one is like the one which will get the jobs. So you find that one and then you learn it. For example, some people say learn Angular, some people say learn React, which is the JavaScript framework. So start learning those also, not just stick to the basic, learn the advanced also. Okay, so one of the most common mistake that common mistake that most people do is that they start taking courses on Udemy. I'm not saying Udemy is bad or something like that, but see, if you see, look at the hours of the courses, it has like 61.5 total hours. Some has 74, some has 58 hours, some has 37.5 hours. So the hours are a lot and it takes you a lot of time to learn a course. For example, it's just if it's just a course of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So it takes a lot of time and it's taking up most of your time, but you have to learn it the fast way, so it's making taking up most of your time, and it's mostly theory. Like they're not doing the projects, they're showing the projects to you, but you're not practicing enough because you're focused on finishing it enough and getting the certificate. So most of the people do that, so which is a mistake. So instead of going through the long hours courses, go for the short hour courses, because just learning the basics won't get you a job. You need to learn the advanced ones also, because if you learn, for example, one language, it won't it's not enough to get a job. You need to learn more languages, like, learn from everything, learn every part of it in order to get the job. So even in Coursera, if you see that there are, like, in 6 months or in 2 months, there are courses that you can get. Some are free, some are paid. Like the paid ones, you'll get the recognized certificates. So if you want, you can join it in Coursera. And even there's an website called Great Learning, which you can get the certificate, and you can do the online courses for free. So these are the ones which I was saying. So the most common people do, it makes the slow paces of it, is take the course on Udemy. Even I myself took the course on Udemy, and I find myself like difficult to finish it. It took a lot of time. Like it took me years to finish it instead of months. So you don't have much time, because you need to do more things than in life. So the third one is the same as how to learn the right way, which I said it already, like how to learn it and what mistakes common most of the people do, like the common mistake most people do. And so let me take you to step number 4. Yep, do some projects. So there's a thing also that is saying that there's a line which says practice, 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 and a practice makes a man perfect. Also, there's this quote, so which is correct. So coding is not just theory. It's not something that you just take the theory. Of course, for example, when you want to learn it or remember, you remember it, but after some times you forget that how do you do code, even how to write just print hello world or whatever coding you have to do. So do some projects, practice it a lot, and keep it as your daily routine, like daily practice 1 hour or something like that, so that in order. And do some projects, like you can go to YouTube and do some projects which has the things that, for example, build an alarm clock, or for example, make a chatbot, which is one which is not a simple one, it's like one of the complex one also. But start the simple projects, start making the simple projects related to your field, and then you can go on to complex one. And do make a GitHub repository also, like on GitHub. Start adding your posts, so that after that on LinkedIn or whichever you have your profile, job profile, so you can add those, you can add your GitHub link, so that people can go and see that you have done this project. And which is one of the benefits, like people can see it, and then they can or you can post it also on LinkedIn that I made this project, I made that project, so that people can see and they can say that you have done make projects. Okay, the fifth thing is one is don't panic. Okay, so most of the coders, like, they don't have this thing. They have this thing, like, they don't take the risk of changing it. It happens, like, they do some changes, and then what happens is that you get into an error. And then so instead of getting that error, they don't make the changes. So when you don't take the risk, so coding is all about getting errors, and then after that you solve that error, and then you get the next error, because that's the happiness that you get. Like, you get an error, you solve it, you get another error, so the previous error which was solved, you get the happiness of that thing. But you do it, you start, like, solving the errors until the end where you don't get the errors, and then done, your project is done. So this happens. So don't panic, and don't feel that if I don't make the changes, I might get an error. Don't afraid to get errors. Errors is a part of the coding thing. It's like another thing that you want to overcome it. So this happens. So no need to panic. And there's some mistakes that I was telling you about, like one mistake that I did. Okay, the first thing is that not learning data structures and algorithms. So let me show you what is data structures and algorithms. So data structures and algorithms, like when you're in the coding journey, so it's one of the most important subjects. So although I struggled a lot in my university year, data structures and algorithms, it was like one of the hardest subjects, which I struggled a lot. But it's the most important one. Like the people ask you in the like in the job or in the interview, they ask you about the subject, not the subject, the things inside it. So what is data structures is how the data is stored in different structures, and algorithms are what algorithms that you use in order to in order to search or manipulate those data structures. So this happens. So I'm not going into the details that what are the types, what is in it, and why it is needed. I'm not going into that, but it is one of the most important thing in interview in order to get a job. So data structures is important. And the second subject is also OOP, which is object oriented programming. So that is also the second subject which is important because people ask for. I remember once I went for like HTML, so they asked me about like what is encapsulation, what is polymorphism. So it was in object oriented program. Even if you have learned it, try revising it, like the notes and everything, because in interview they might ask you. Okay, so the second mistake is that no interview preparation. So you're going for a job, you didn't prepare anything for it, so what can you expect? Of course, you don't know the answers. Because you have this thing that, of course, I know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, this and that, and you didn't prepare for it. Means you didn't prepare for the interview, means like what questions they're going to ask, and it's not just tell me about yourself. Of course, it's a technical, so they might ask you the questions related to your field, whether it's web development, of course, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, they might ask you really, or even if it's game development, they might ask you like instead of. So see what are the questions, like most commonly asked questions, like the interview people they ask, the interview the interviewer they ask. So go do that. So prepare. So without having a preparation, you won't have the confidence. Like have confidence, prepare and have the confidence so that you can ace your interview. And the third is that have the mentality that I know everything. So having this mentality of I know everything, it's the biggest enemy of you. Because you say, as it is said, that your mind can be your biggest friend and it can be your biggest enemy. So this the mentality of I know everything is going to destroy you, because it's technology we're talking about, it's coding we're talking about. So the things keeps on changing. Like for example, what are the fields? Even all the fields are advancing in it. So what are the latest technologies, latest programming languages that you need, or for example, like the one most asked for, so you need to know about it instead of just having this thing or saying I know everything, I don't need to learn anything. So the last one, last but not the least, is that one programming language is not enough. So having this thing that just learning one programming language, or some other person said to you that learn this, or even say learn Python, so that is not enough to get a job. One programming language, just Python. Even if you're learning Python inside it, you need to learn the frameworks of it, like such as Django, TensorFlow, the Keras. You need to learn it. Just learning Python, like pure Python, won't get you a job. It's not enough to get you a job. So you need to learn more things. For example, if you're going for data science, if you're interested in being a data analyst, for example, it's a subfield of data science. So if you're interested in data analyst, so even you have to learn the technologies related to it, like such as Apache, Hadoop, Spark, these things. And even you need to learn Excel, this Power BI also, and in program language it's just one Python, and you need to learn SQL. So you need to learn all these things, that then you can get the job. Just if you're learning just Python and not learning other things, it's not enough to get a job. So I'm not trying to demotivate you guys, but I'm saying that one programming language is not enough. Like for example, if I say, like, if you're just learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, it's not enough to get a job. You need to learn the advanced things. You need to learn React, for example, or you need to learn Angular. So you need to keep on advancing. You need to keep on learning, because this thing won't stop. You need to keep on learning so that you can get better. So that is all from my side. Thank you so much.